Hello, everyone. This is Cheryl Fitz with the University of South Carolina. I want to welcome you to our December webinar. Thank you for joining us. Our presenter, Lisa Jenkins, is on the line, and you'll be able to see her shortly. Just waiting a couple minutes for people to join. So thank you again. And Lisa, whenever you're ready, you can get started.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, sounds good. All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Jenkins, and I am with the South Carolina Department of Education in the Office of Family and Community Engagement. I am the program coordinator for the Office of FACE, is what we call it. The office has been in existence since 2016, so we're going into our third year, and it has been really good. We have partnered with some different people in the community, which is what we do. But before I get to that part, I'm just gonna go slide by slide. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to stop me at any point and ask questions, or we can wait until the end, however you all see fit, okay? Okay, first of all, let's talk about, of course, family and community engagement, FACE. That's the office. The director is Miss Yolanda Anderson, and of course, I am Lisa Jenkins, the program coordinator. We are currently a two-person office looking to grow in the years to come. This is the profile of the South Carolina graduate. What this is basically, we want every student to graduate. So that's basically what this is. It shows world-class skills, life and career characteristics. This right here is what we want for every student in the state of South Carolina. Our mission. The Office of FACE mission is to support partnerships between community organizations, families, and schools in an effort to coordinate access of resources for all students in South Carolina. What that means is we go out, we find resources, we partner with different churches, Baptist churches, different organizations in the community to, how would I say it, to make sure that the resources are there for our students, the resources that are needed for a student's success and for our students to succeed. Okay. Family and community engagement. What is parent engagement? Why should the community be involved? These are some of the questions that we get. Shouldn't the school be responsible for teaching my child? I work. How am I supposed to volunteer at the school? I can't make the parent-teacher conference at 1 p.m. So now what? How can I be involved? Okay. Family engagement is when families are actively involved in the learning and development of all students in helping them become college and career ready. So basically, getting them to the point of graduation, then through college, and then into a career. These are some of the framework strategies, building relationships, the suggestions, openness, available, sharing of student strengths, growth, opportunities, knowing it's okay not to be an expert on what your student is learning, and learning the learning environment. Communication, willingness to engage with the teachers, with your child's teacher or with the student's teacher, best way to stay connected, informing the teacher of progress or problems the child may have, linking families to learning outcomes, personalized learning, profile of South Carolina graduate, asking questions, regularly tracking students' progress, both formally and informally, and explaining the importance of family role in education. Collaborative practices, attending family nights, parent-teacher conferences, using resources sent home by the school, asking for help if subjects are beyond your expertise, and participating in family projects utilizing literacy tools and strategies. Community partnerships, providing info to the school teacher about great resources in the community, volunteering support when available, and quality after-school programs. So these are some of the framework strategies that we are working on here in this office. Okay, now, how can families help? Attend school activities, communicate regularly with their students and teachers. I'm sorry, that's something. Read with their student, take advantage of the necessary resources needed to help their student maximize his or her learning potential. Attend parent education nights whenever possible. With that being said, I know every parent can't be to everything that we at the school with the child. However, it really makes a difference when you as a parent are involved with your child's education, because if the child sees that you are like behind them, you're pushing them to do their best, and that you're interested per se, then it helps them. Prime example with my children are grown, but I do have a grandson, and he enjoys when I sit down and do homework with him, and he enjoys when I go through and check his homework. So I mean, a lot of things, it doesn't take a lot. It's the little things that really makes a difference as far as your child's education. Just showing that you're interested makes a big difference. If you can't attend a school activity, maybe reaching out to the teacher the next day and just saying, well, I wasn't able to attend. Can you, tell me what went on? Or can you, just send the information home with my child, just showing not only your child, but the school that you are interested in your child's education, and you are wanting to, you do want your child to succeed. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Looks like I'm missing some slides. Okay, well, with that being said, I'm just gonna go. It looks like I'm missing something that I'm looking for. But okay, these are some resources that are helpful, and you all can maybe go to the website and look over some of the resources. But some of the things that we are doing in the Office of Family and Community Engagement, we are hosting regional trainings. We have hosted one in Charleston, we've hosted one in Florence, one in Greenville, one in Spartanburg, one in Conway, and we've had about 2 or 3 here in Columbia. Those trainings are for the parent liaisons in the school districts and the guidance counselors in the school districts, because a lot of the parent liaisons are the guidance counselors. So those trainings are basically for the parent liaisons in the school district, and the training is to educate them on ways to get parents more involved in their child's education. We also, we have something, some of the churches that we have partnered with, the South Carolina Baptist Convention is one of our big ones, and they are awesome. And we do the backpack program, where on Fridays, some of the children have a backpack that's packed with non-perishable food items for them to take home. Because believe it or not, some of the students, when they leave on Friday, basically they don't have another meal until they come back on Monday. We see that, and it's sad. However, it does happen. So with the backpack program, that provides backpack, and it's full, and it has, like I said, non-perishable items and microwavable items in the backpack for the student. And that's done on Fridays. The Reading Buddy program, that's where we have volunteers, that the churches, they have volunteers that go into the schools and read with the students 30 minutes a day, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. That's another one of our resources, the backpack program, the Reading Buddy program. And we basically we get out and we try to find the necessary resources that are needed to help each student succeed and become a graduate and not a dropout. That's our goal is to eliminate the drop, to get that dropout rate, hopefully one day to 0. But I mean, that may not be the case all the time. But if we can stop so many students from dropping out, that's what our goal is. We partner with different, like I said, different community organizations. South Carolina Baptist Convention Center is one. We're a member of the NNPS, which is based out of Baltimore, Maryland. We have different offices here in the department that also work with family engagement. So we have the Early Learning Literacy and the Read to Succeed. So we all work hand in hand as far as getting those resources, getting the training, hosting trainings, providing any type of information that someone may need. And let's see what else. Any questions so far? I'm sorry. Any questions so far? No? No? Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I went over that. Let's see. The office, what the office is currently doing. The office is currently, we're in the planning stage of a 2019 Family Engagement Statewide Summit. We are in the planning stage of that, where we are going to have, we're going to offer statewide people, I mean, whomever wants to, attendees statewide. Our keynote speaker will be Joyce Epstein. Not sure if you all are familiar with her, but she is wonderful. She is a part of the NNPS, which is based out of Baltimore, Maryland. She will be our keynote speaker. We are in the planning stage of that. We just wrapped up some regional trainings. As I said earlier, we had trainings in Charleston, Florence, Greenville, Spartanburg, Conway. We just recently wrapped up some trainings, our family engagement trainings. And the ones that we just completed were actually hosted by the South Carolina School Improvement Council. And it was actually, our speaker was one of the, she's with the, let me see, the school of, Lord, I'm trying to think. Okay, well, it was based on the Latinos. It was more of a training of working with Latino students. So it was really good. It was a really good training. I can't remember the actual school that our keynote speaker was from, but she works hand in hand also with our school, with the School Improvement Council. And that was the training that we just wrapped up. We had 4 of those. They were very, very informative, and they went very well. So basically, I mean, with the office being as new as it is, and we're still putting things in the process and getting things together, I mean, it's not a whole lot to our office. We are just basically here to assist the schools. We are meeting with the superintendents across the state. We do have several meetings set up. That's another thing that we're working on, where we go into the school, we meet with the superintendent, and we just see what is it that they need assistance with, and to see if it's something that we can help with. That's one of the things that we're doing. We're traveling across the state doing that. Basically, again, working with each school to make sure that the students are succeeding, working with the schools on how to have a welcoming environment. That's a very, very, very important, that's one of the important factors. No one wants to walk into a school and feel unwanted. So that's some of what our training is, of how to be welcoming when the parent comes in, and how to be welcoming when, you know, anyone comes into the school, basically, because that you're that first impression when you walk in. That the office staff is the first impression when you walk into the school. That's part of the training as well. Let's see. So really, what we're doing is partnering with different organizations and churches to provide the necessary resources for each student in the state of South Carolina to be successful. Do you have any questions for me? Cheryl, you have any questions? I guess no one has any questions.
I did have a question. I know many of our schools are trying to expand their family community engagement, and not quite sure exactly how to do that, especially if you are working with diverse populations.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned churches and other nearby organizations. What would you recommend a school do in order to bring in that diversity?
My recommendation would be to maybe reach out to that. Let's see, that's something that they probably, my suggestion would be for them to reach out to, maybe reach out to our office and have some type of training on how to go about doing that. I think a training, because it's very important that we're trained, you know, on certain things, and everyone is not going to be willing to help. Everyone is not going to be willing to volunteer, but you do have a lot of organizations that are willing to and want to. So my suggestion would be, my director is very, very good at assisting with things of such. So maybe have her come in and speak with the school or whomever is trying to reach out to that resource. That would be my suggestion. I mean, she's really good at that, and you know, I don't see where it would be a problem. But I would say just to maybe get someone in there to, you know, have a little bit of training.
Okay, so I'm assuming that the trainings that you offer are upon request. Is there any stipulations or requirements that you need in order to have this training done in the school district?
No, the trainings that we're offering, the regional trainings, we basically reach out to the superintendents. They in turn extend the invitation to their employees, and it's optional. They don't have to, but then there's always a registration site where they can go and register if they want to attend the training.
Okay, are your trainings generally 1 day, 2 day, or is it dependent upon the need of the area?
1 day. Our trainings are normally 8:30 to 1.
Okay.
And they're normally 1 day. We've never had a training longer than 1 day.
Okay. Have you had opportunity to talk with some of these schools to find the outcome after the trainings have taken place?
Well, the training basically is for, like I said, we've reached out to the attendees. They have, you know, a lot of information to take back, and I have reached out to a few to see, you know, if any of the information they took back, have they put anything in place. A lot, believe it or not, a lot of the schools are already doing a lot of the things that we're trying to get done, to get started. So it was very, very impressing at the regional trainings, because a lot of the parent liaisons and the administrators that attended the training, a lot of them said that their schools were already doing this. So basically our question is, how is it working? Is it working for you, or is it not? And if it's not, why? And what can we do to help?
Mm-hmm. So you help them problem solve and strategize.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say problem solve, but I mean, because like most of them, they're already have it in place. And like I said, most of them say it's working. A lot of times we feed off of them to see, okay, so, you know, it's working. So what are you all doing? You know, tell us what you all are doing. So maybe we can take it and, you know, take that information and pass it on to someone else. So it's more of like we feed off each other. We learn from one another.
Okay. Your office has been, well, your office is fairly new. I'm sorry, how long did you say the office had been there?
It'll be 3 years in January. So 2016, January 2016.
Mm-hmm. And your work is well received? Yes.
Yes, I mean, you know, it was a little slow at first, but that's normal. It's picking up. It's definitely picking up, and with us going out to the different schools and meeting with the superintendents, it is really it helps, because then, you know, we know what we have to do, and basically we just want them to know that our office is there if they need any type of assistance. Any type of resources, if they, you know, whatever the issue may be, if it's something that we can help with, we do.
And what specific resources do you provide?
We provide if they, for example, if they have a student that, well, a parent that is, you know, looking for resources as far as ways to help their child, we can point her in the direction, for example, tutoring, different, the After School Alliance, the South Carolina After School Alliance is one of our partners, and they actually have, of course, the after school programs, and then we have the 21st Century. So it's different, you know, like if a parent's like, well, you know, I don't have anywhere for, you know, I'm having issues with my child after school, and I have to work, and, you know, it's just, it's a lot, just, this is a lot of different areas that we go in. We don't actually go out and pretend like, you know, oh, we're Superwoman, Superman, or whatever. We basically just try to find whatever resources we can to assist. So basically the phone calls wouldn't come from the parent, but the school, the administrator or someone at the school may send an email or make a phone call and say, well, you know, can you point me in the direction of this? If we can't, our goal is to find out what direction that we can point them in and get back with them.
Okay. You mentioned the 21st Century. Can you expound on that? What is that organization?
Well, the 21st Century is one of the offices here in the Department of Education, and what they do, they work mostly with the after-school programs in the school district.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that was a federal program, but it's there in the State Department. That's good to know.
Yeah, 21st Century is yeah, it's here in, I mean, well, they work here in the Department of Education office. Yeah. Now you said the 21st Century, you thought it was, you said federally funded?
Yes, I thought was a federal program.
It is federally funded. It's just the person that's over it is housed here in the Department of Education.
Okay, I got you.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I mean, that's actually student intervention services. The 21st Century is one of the areas in student intervention services.
So when you're trying to maintain family engagement in your schools, do you have any special recommendations if what you have seems to be effective, but you're concerned about the longevity of your projects?
Well, I would say just getting a parent to understand how important it is to be involved with your child's education. That is one of the main goals that we are trying to, of course, we're not able to reach every parent. And that we are, right now, just the importance, I guess, just trying to stress enough the importance of being involved, being engaged. I mean, you don't have to go to every parent-teacher conference, but you can make sure that those forms that the child brings home are signed. That's being engaged. I mean, you can make sure that the child is at school on time. That's being engaged. But being involved, you have to actually just really physically at least walk into the school sometime and just check on the child and see how the child is doing. So that, it's a little difference between being engaged and being involved. You can be engaged by speaking to the child's teacher over the phone. That's being engaged. But being involved is actually physically walking into that classroom and sitting down with that teacher. So that's what we're trying to get people to understand.
Okay, have you had any opportunities to work with families of children with a disability?
No, we have not.
Any organizations?
There is, let me see, there is one here, because we have different departments here. And like I said, there are several that do deal with family engagement, but in a different aspect, like the Read to Succeed and the early learning literacy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think we do have an area here that deals with the students with disabilities, but that wouldn't be us. Not saying that we won't in the future, but right now we're not.
Okay. So when you're working with school districts, that question has not come up yet?
No, it has not.
Okay. But anything you offer, I'm assuming it's available to families.
Oh yes. Oh yes, definitely, definitely. Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
And like I said, I have those resources, one of the slides, and that, I mean, if someone wants to go on and just look at the websites are on there as well. The SCDE Parent Involvement Report 2018 and the NNPS, what I spoke about, Joyce Epstein National Network of Partnership Schools. That information is on there. They have very, very good information. I don't know if you all have heard of the book Beyond the Bake Sale. That's a really good read. And then we have one, NNPS. It's just a guide with the information. So there are some really, really good reads out there as far as family engagement. It's just a lot because family engagement is broad. I mean, you know, it could be this, it could be that. It's just not one set thing. So.
Okay, so you align it specifically with the needs of the area or the school that you're working with.
Exactly. The needs of the school, and yeah, the needs of the area, yes.
Okay.
Our focus is basically the needs of the school.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other questions from our participants?
And if anyone has any questions or any concerns, you can feel free to email me or my director, Ms. Yolanda Anderson. Don't think my email is on here, but I will, Miss Cheryl has it. So if anyone has any questions after they think of something they want to ask, or if they have a concern, or if they just need some information, if we don't have it, we can get it. So just feel free to reach out to us anytime. Ms. Cheryl, if you don't mind, if anyone needs my email address, if you could provide them with that, I thank you for that. But if anyone has any questions, just feel free to reach out to either myself or Miss Anderson, and one of us will definitely do what we can or do everything we can to get the answer for you or to assist you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us, Ms. Jenkins?
No, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's not, you know, I don't have a lot to elaborate on because the office is really small, and we're still getting our feet wet. So with that being said, if, like I said, if anyone has any questions, or if it's something that they wanted to ask and just didn't, and want to just to ask one-on-one, that's fine as well. They can just send me an email, and I'll be glad to assist.
Okay. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We sorry about the technical difficulties, but I think it was a good conversation today. So I want to thank all our participants for joining us. And as Ms. Jenkins said, feel free to connect with me to get any additional information. I can forward you her email address, as well as the contact information for the Office of Family and Community Engagement at the State Department. So everyone, thank you again for joining, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, everyone, and happy holidays.